Hi, this is Paul Slackis, Good News Planet. I'm speaking to Laura Howe. Hi, Laura. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
All right, good. Vice President for the American Red Cross. Great organization. And Paris Lago. Hi, Paris. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Here with Lowe's, and we're going to discuss hurricane and storm prep tips. Are we physically right now at a Lowe's? A great Lowe's.
Yes, we're actually in a Lowe's in Mobile, Alabama today.
Oh, all righty. Great. How many Lowe's are there out there?
Well, there's actually about 1,800 Lowe's now.
Wow, congratulations. And you guys are really have great corporate social responsibility, and that's the reason I imagine that you're on the line with one of the greatest organizations, the American Red Cross. So how do people prepare for a hurricane in this storm?
Well, we really want people to take a couple of pretty simple actions. We want people to have a family preparedness plan. So that means we want you to sit down and talk with your family about where you would go in case you have to evacuate. What do you do if your family's separated? All those things that you all need to know and talk about as a family. We also want you to have a kit as well. And so we want you to get a 3-day supply of food and water. We want to make sure that you have all your important paperwork and your personal documents in one easy to locate place. We want you to make sure that you have things for your children, comfort items in that kit. We also want you to make sure you have extra medications on hand in case you need that. And also preparedness items for your pets as well, because we want you to take care of those four-legged family members too.
Aha. Okay, and Lowe's, you have a website that people can go to. I went to it, Lowe's Hurricane Preparedness Guide. So you literally have some pictures here and different products that make sense. Well, what are some of them?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. On Lowe's.com/hurricane, you're going to find items that you're going to need in that emergency kit. So you're going to find that you're going to need flashlights, you're going to need batteries, you're going to need garbage bags, you're going to need duct tape, rope, and don't forget that portable weather radio so you can stay ahead of the event. And you're going to find all of those items on our Lowe's.com/hurricane site.
Would you say the most important thing to do with a family, to sit down, discuss this? What's the best approach to go?
Well, I really think that family plan is really going to be the most important thing, because a lot of people, families are scattered these days. So, you're never together when something happens. Mom and dad are at work, the kids are at school. You may be at different activities and events when some kind of emergency happens. So before you do anything, you really have to know what it is your family plan is, how you get in touch with each other. Do you have an out-of-town contact that you all call and everybody sort of checks in and touches base? How do you get the message out in your social networks that you're safe? Things of that nature. So even before you get that kit together, that plan is really the most important thing, because we really want everybody heeding the warnings that local authorities put out during these types of events. We want people evacuating, and you have to know where to go and what to do when that happens.
I one time interviewed the chairman of the Red Cross. I mean, we've been doing this a long time. I just realized there are about 80 pages on Red Cross of all the good things that you do. And so he mentioned that most 90% of the kinds of things that you do are when people lose their homes, or fire in a house, or disasters like what we're talking about. So it's prevalent, and then people really just don't know what to do, and you guys have been helping in that way. Is that so?
Yeah, and I think what people don't realize is the Red Cross responds to nearly 700,000 disasters every year, and that's everything from the big hurricanes that make news to everything from apartment fires and local house fires that happen in neighborhoods every day. 90% of the people that help us are volunteers, so that's most of our workforce. And we also couldn't do this without great partners like Lowe's, because they've over the last several years have donated upwards of $25 million to the Red Cross. So it takes partners like Lowe's, it takes community organizations, it really takes everybody coming together to make sure that when a disaster happens in a community, be it a home fire or a large hurricane, that really everybody is taken care of and that the community gets put back on the path to recovery.
Paris, where do you think that comes from in the good corporate structure of your organization?
You spoke to it a little bit earlier. It's this social responsibility. It's really important, that as a for-profit company that, that we really make sure that we give back to the community, because the community is so important to us, and when we see people in need or we see a great organization like the Red Cross, it's very easy for us to partner with and make sure that we're taking care of the people that take care of us.
We're involved with the World Peace Day, which is in September 1st, and this year it's for children. Our focus is children in the environment, with a sign in Central Park and all other places in the world. All the countries have agreed to a day of peace, and the environment is really on the front page everywhere nowadays, and more concern. So emergency preparedness, I think, probably is unfortunately going to be more and more prevalent. Could that be true?
We see a couple of things happening. So first of all, we see more disasters happening. So the number of disasters that we respond to continues to grow and increase. The other thing that we see is we see storms of increasing strength. We also see a lot of people now who are moving to areas that are more disaster prone. So you see the populations growing in places like the West Coast, places like the Southwest that are very wildfire prone. You also see a lot of people moving to coastal areas. So between more frequent disasters, more intense disasters, and more people living in disaster prone areas, that means more work for the Red Cross and more opportunities for Lowe's and corporations like Lowe's to support their communities and help in those situations.
And specifically, hurricanes. I mean, they seem mainly, but unusually, they're hitting areas that we had one little Perrytown up in Westchester, in New York area. So I mean, that word hurricane just seemed like a Midwest kind of a comment. Hurricanes are also changing their paths.
That does deal with the fact that so many people now are moving to coastal areas. It's a very popular destination for people, a very popular destination for retirees. So, even in places where hurricanes used to perhaps not be as prevalent, there's just more people there now, and more areas are more urbanized, and so the more people we have, the more impacts they're going to be, and so those are all things I think contribute to the fact that you hear about hurricanes, they seem to be more serious and more people are affected.
Paris, when you go into a Lowe's, and I've been in many times, you always have people that have a lot of knowledge. You put them through the ringer.
Well, we definitely do a lot of training so we can make sure that we're telling people, exactly what they're going to need. When you think about the emergency state that we're talking about now, and think about, some of the potential panic that could set in, we definitely want to be that voice of reason, saying, hey, here's what you need to do, here's the order you need to do it, here's what you're going to need to do it with. So, we definitely make sure that everybody gets that training, on a daily basis, and especially when we're talking about things like hurricane prep.
You have a phone number, too, that you can call into about products as well. I saw that on the website as well. Any other kinds of good things we want to share with our audience today?
I think there's a couple things. So we always want people to know where they can go to get more information. So they can go to redcross.org. They can also go to lowes.com/hurricane, and there's lots of great information there, all the things that you're going to need to get ready for a hurricane. The other thing that people should know is the Red Cross offers a number of free mobile apps, and those are also a great way to get prepared. So we have a hurricane app. We also have a first aid app, tornado app. We have a flood app, a wildfire app. All of those give great preparedness information, checklists about what you need to have on hand. They also include weather alerts and weather maps so you can follow all the latest developments. And they also include something called an I'm Safe button. So you can hit that button and send a message to your social networks, to your friends and family, to let them know that you're okay. And so those are a great way to get prepared and get more information.
Fantastic. Last question for both of you. We usually ask everybody, what's good news for you? So, Paris, what's good news for you?
Well, good news for me is if we do all of this prep work, but we don't actually have to put it in place, we want to make sure that everybody's ready. But good news for me would make sure that, that we actually didn't have to use this in real life.
Well,
I was there. Laura, good news for you.
Yeah, well, that would be good news for me too. But good news for us is having great partners like Lowe's, and so they really help us help America. And so, good news for me is having partners like that, and also helping people out in the general public who want to make sure they volunteer with us, go out and make those blood donations, and also support us financially too.
Okay, great. Well, we're proud to support both of you. Congratulations. Thank you very much for sharing good news with us.
Great. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
All righty. Bye-bye.